Our whole goal is to impact the lives of our employees and invest in people. Take something that changed my life and show it to the people. Look how awesome this is. Like, this can change your life. I've been where you are. I couldn't afford to go to dinner with my girlfriend, or I couldn't afford
Game
that nice
7 of the
apartment.
World Series.
Right. Like, I wanted
How
to
much
do
were those
those
tickets?
I think they're like $4,000 pop or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Dang, $4,000 for a baseball
Right, but-
ticket. Roofers don't make money. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lee Haight coming to you from the Blue Collar Boardroom. And we are here to raise the status of the blue collar entrepreneur. I know there's a lot of white collar entrepreneurs out there trying to figure out how to make more money, but they're maybe a little afraid to get their hands dirty, but they're watching like micro dirty jobs, or they're watching the ice road truckers. And, you know, this industry of blue collar home service contracting is the modern day gold rush. And so my mission is to be the best facilitator of success for blue collar entrepreneurs to raise the status. And I've got a special guest for everybody. A guy's grown his business to $30 million a year in its fourth year in business.
It'll be 5 years in January.
Oh, 5 years. Out of Virginia, Joshua Jerge. Welcome to the Blue Collar Boardroom, man.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit about, your story, where you got started.
Yeah, so I followed the same path that most millennials took, right? Go to college, and then realized that I was going to have $100,000 I had to pay back when I got out. So I started looking for jobs, and I realized that the jobs that I wanted, which was supposed to be in professional sports, were going to pay $40,000, $50,000 a year, and that wasn't going to allow me to pay my $100,000 student loan back. So
Would you want to be a sports agent?
I didn't really have anything in particular. I just wanted to be in pro sports.
Right.
That's what I wanted. And I found out the only people that make money in pro sports are the athletes. Right?
Well, and the owners.
Yeah, right.
So, our podcast is right here because there's a fucking scam in America. It's that, you go to college, you get a good job, you go hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Yep.
And now what happens? Isn't that, you experience this?
Yeah, man, there's a box that most people are living in society. The box of go to college, get a job, get a mortgage, pay your bills, right? And like, that's supposed to be the secret for happiness and financial freedom. And if that was true, then like, why do so many people hate where they work and hate their life, right? And like, there's a study that came out recently that said it said something along the lines of the most suicides are committed Monday mornings between 6 and 8 a.m. So we're literally killing ourselves for a job, for a system that's supposed to make us happy.
Yeah, dude,
right?
you hit it. You hit a really important point because for our generation, the number 2 killer of people is suicide.
Yep.
And whether it's social media, people comparing their lives, the fact that, people are told a lie and they're sick and tired of all the noise. I don't really know what it is that it's causing people to check out, but I know that young people out there are looking for a purpose, and being able to earn money as a young man, it gave me confidence. It allowed me to kind of get out of my shell. I can remember trying to fit in high school. I felt like an outlier. I felt like I wanted to be one of the cool kids. It's like the first time I ever went to a party. I'm like, oh, here's some drinks, and oh, now you're one of the cool kids. Let me have a party with some drinks and I'll be cool too. Right. But the truth is like, our society doesn't really celebrate entrepreneurship the way it should, man. Did you learn anything that has helped you get to $30 million in high school and college? Like, what lessons did you learn in the education system that helped you get to where you're at?
Yeah, I think that it was just I got tired of not being able to do what I wanted. Mm-hmm. There's things I want to do. There's trips I want to go on. There's people I wanted to help. There's things I want to do in my own life that I just wasn't able to do. And I just got tired of it. And I decided that, if I failed, then so be it. But I was going to make a change to start working my way towards being able to do that stuff. And, here we are 4 years later. It's just a commitment to excellence and hard work.
When people think about a roofing professional, they tell me, I'm not going to be up on a roof. You look like a clean cut guy. When you heard about a roofing business opportunity, did you think you were better than that? Where you you went to college to be a roofer, dog?
I didn't really know what I was getting into, man. Like I never thought I would be in roofing. But it's not so much, it's just a vehicle, like you said it in the past, it's just the vehicle that we choose to use to make an impact on our customers' lives, our employees' lives, and along the way improve our own lives as well.
So what? Okay, so most roofing companies, they do less than $1 million in sales. Y'all are in the top 30 of all roofing companies in America, and I'm just trying to figure out.
Pretty cool to say.
I know, man. It's pretty freaking.
Never
badass.
thought I'd say that.
No, it's awesome, dude. But you're gonna be the biggest. I mean, you are on a track to keep growing. And what do you think it is? What's the secret sauce? I mean, what do you think differentiates you? What do y'all do? Like, talk to me about your business model.
I think most businesses, they're doing it. They're in business for the wrong reasons. They're chasing the money, right? And like, our whole goal is to impact the lives of our employees and invest in people, and like take something that changed my life and show it to the people that are now around me and our employees and our potential employees. But look how awesome this is. Like, this can change your life. I've been where you are. I couldn't afford to, go to dinner with my girlfriend, or I couldn't afford
Game
that nice
7 of the
apartment.
World Series.
Right. Like, I wanted
How
to
much
do
were those
those
tickets?
I think they're like $4,000 a pop or something.
Oh
like
God,
that.
dang, $4,000 for a baseball
but-
ticket. Roofers don't make money.
But like, I wanted to be able to do these things, and it just got so sick of it that, it's been a grind from here. And the secret sauce is taking that experience that changed my life and showing it to other people and getting them invested and watching how their life changes.
There's like no easy way for it though. Paradise comes to those who work for it. And I know that you're generating leads, that you spend money on Facebook and Google, and you generate all these opportunities with modern sales systems. But what I think is really cool about our business is when we do a job, we can accelerate word of mouth referrals with the good old fashioned Operation Bloody Knuckles.
Yeah,
how does that play into your business? I'm talking about door to door, if you don't know. And many people are, first time you say door to door, they're going to be scared. They're going to run for the fences. I'm not knocking on door. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. How do you use that in your business?
So that's what our business is built on, is just hard work, door knocking, right? Like you said, bloody knuckles, and all these other avenues that we use. Like, we're using Facebook, and like you're talking about direct mail, and all these other avenues of creating leads are just a supplement to that. That's always going to be the bread and butter and the core of the company.
So an average guy comes in, he's successful. How much is he making? What are some of your top performers making? And what do you think somebody that's listening to this podcast and is thinking, like, what do you think they could expect if they came in and worked hard and had a good attitude?
Right. So I always say, like, give us a year, right? And if this isn't the one thing that makes the biggest change in your life moving forward, whether you stay with us for 20 years or you stay with us for a year and leave and take what you learned to do something else, give us a year. And in that year, if you listen to the things that we say and don't learn from your own mistakes, you learn from the mistakes that we've already made for you. Like, you can fast track yourself to $200,000, $300,000 a year pretty quickly.
You have $400,000 earners in your company?
Yep.
Oh my God, how hard did they work?
They definitely wanted to change their life. I'll put it that way. They just got sick of the rat race. Sick of being stuck.
At $400,000, you're earning more than the top 1%.
I know. It's awesome, man. It's so cool. Like, that's the best part about this, is like getting to change other people's lives, watching what it did for me, and then taking that and passing on to the next person, making impact.
So you literally made millions of dollars in your first 5 years in business, and
we're reinvesting a lot of that, but yes.
and you never thought at going to college that you would be a roofer.
No, man. No, I don't think anybody is. Like, the industry kind of finds you, right?
Right.
And I think that, like, at least the people that I know, like, the industry found them because they just got so sick of that box that society lives in.
Well, if to any roofing contractors that are watching this, Josh has a special strategy that I want to kind of talk about, because he is on the forefront of a change in the roofing business. The insurance restoration's always been great. We get the insurance companies to pay for the roof. That's awesome. It's a beautiful, easiest sell in America. But what happens when the insurance companies tell them no? And using funding, the largest companies in America are using funding in banks to complete home service contracts. It doesn't matter if you're selling windows, siding. There's $500 million companies out there that only sell jobs using funding. And so Josh is an example of a hybrid contractor, one who goes after insurance but also does retail. So to anybody that may be following this, that's a contractor that chases storms, talk to us a little bit about your hybrid model and how you look at it differently.
Yeah, so I think that if a job like doesn't get approved on the insurance side of things, a lot of us will just drop it, right? And what you don't realize is that there's companies out there that are roofers that don't do any insurance work. All they do is sell it for, what we call a cash deal, or they finance a lot of those deals. Asking Mrs. Jones for $20,000 can be tough sometimes, but asking her for $100 a month is a fairly easy sale, especially if they need it. And taking those not the missed opportunities, but the denials from the insurance companies and turning those into, Mrs. Jones, let me just give you an estimate, something to hang on to for the future. And a lot of times they look at the number and they look at the monthly payment and they just say, yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
And so that right there is a absolute, he has a process. He has a roof in a bag, and he really builds value with your sales team. Talk to us about when you train somebody, what that process looks like. And talk to me a little bit about your roof in the bag and the value building.
Right. So training starts in the office every day for the first 90 days, right? So we're trying to get those guys bought into the culture. We're trying to get them become masters of the industry, especially if they don't have any experience, right? That's actually our favorite guy because we can kind of mold them and they don't have all the bad habits from some of our competition, right? And then with the bag, on a retail deal, it's problem solution selling, right? So for those of you that do storm work, sometimes you don't have drip edge on an estimate, and pulling out a piece of drip edge and a small cutout of plywood and explaining the purpose of it, and then selling that to the homeowner, or if it's a retail deal, showing what the competitor shingle is like and actually handing it to them, and then handing them the shingle that we use and letting them actually hold it and feel it. Apple did studies that said if a customer comes into one of the Apple stores and picks up a product 3 times, they'll buy it. So our whole goal is the entire pitch to have pieces of the roof that we're handing to the customer so they can actually feel the product. Because most guys come in and say, here's my number, and then they get undercut by somebody else because they didn't stack value in it. They don't know how to build value in what they're doing, and the customer doesn't understand that this guy is going to do it the right way and this guy's going to do it the wrong way. All they see is price because nobody's educating them.
See, that's what I'm talking about, guys. We're going to flip our collars. That was a collar flipping moment. We are taking Steve Jobs' approach to the roofing business. And that's actually the title of this, being Blue Collar Boardroom. You think of the blue collar as the working class, working with his hands, but you don't have to be like that. You can apply Steve Jobs type principles in your sales process to create millions of dollars in opportunity. And so, Josh, where are you located at?
So we have an office in Virginia. We service Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So we're in and around the DC market and then in and around the Philadelphia market right now.
And I see that as an area that for contractors, it's one of the highest paying areas. Mm-hmm. People there are very highly paid. A lot of them earning over $100,000 a year, mm-hmm. willing to spend money on their homes. You got a little winter, and one thing about the winter is it drives people to want to spend money on their homes in the spring and in the summer in home improvement. Mm-hmm. And I've worked in these areas, and I really prefer them over everywhere else in the country because of the price, the profitability, because of the factor that you're getting a better quality homeowner. Mm-hmm. And there's licensing in many of these states, so it kind of keeps some of the knucklehead contractors out,
right?
And y'all had a storm this year in Washington, huh? What was that like?
Yeah, there was a storm in DC back in May, I believe. Mm-hmm. And we actually don't service Washington, DC, the city itself, because for the very reason you said, that it's so strict, mm-hmm. right? So we just operate Virginia and Maryland around it. That was a pretty good storm. It affected a lot of really big tickets. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think we all know what the storms are about. Yeah, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, well, if you don't, my other business, Sky Diamonds, is about capitalizing off of hailstorms and hurricanes, and the business, the $100 billion industry that is in restoring people's homes and fighting America's toughest negotiators, the insurance companies. These guys are the ruling class. They don't want to see us get access to their capital, but we have modern day sales systems to mm-hmm. Create our own blue collar American dream. And there's a lot of people out here listening to this that just can only imagine themselves 5 years in business with a $30 million company, man. And I just want to tell you, you're helping raising the status for all, working class Americans and giving people hope that, even if they're desperate, sick and tired of listening to some bullshit lie that their college was the answer, or that their corporate America was the answer, that you can drop what you're doing, change the direction of your life. And I'd ask you mm-hmm. before this podcast, were you hesitant about becoming a roofer? Were you scared about it? Were you like feeling down about becoming a roofer after you graduated college? Was that something that went through your mind?
Yeah, of course. You go into school and you think you're coming out to work in pro sports and make all this money and, have a cool job. And then, in the eyes of society, that's cool. But roofing isn't looked upon the same way, right? Like, I don't think any of us tell our friends that we're a roofer and like, oh shit, tell me more,
Yeah.
So I think like you're a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. He says it really well. Like, just stop caring what other people think.
Right.
Like if you're trying to get to a certain level, like you talked about with being in the 1%, you have to do the opposite of the masses, right? Look what everyone else is doing. They all want to, in this example, they all want to work in sports. They all want to get the 9 to 5. They want to work in tech. They want to make a new app. And just look what everyone else is doing. Look what the 99% are doing and go the other way. And that's what we're doing. Right?
You're not just a smart roofer. You're a smart businessman, a smart marketer. I pulled your website up here, and the first thing you see is the best roofing experience you'll ever have. And the name of your company, Smart Roof, I mean, I'm sure it gets an immediate attention, and so, what one of the first really effective ads one of our clients was able to duplicate was an ad you shot. You did a roof for free, a Habitat for Humanity job, and instead of just like paying crew to go do it, what'd you do?
Yeah, so one of our core values and our beliefs is making an impact for our customers, our employees, and our community. And we wanted to give back, but I wanted an opportunity to teach our guys more about roofing. A lot of the sales guys, they've never actually been, had to be an installer for a long period of time, right?
They don't do the roofs, they sell the roofs.
Right. Like when we say we're in roofing, like we're not up there with a hammer and nails, like we're just selling the project. But those moments, I think, are like the reason that we do this. That family that we did that roof for with Habitat for Humanity, it was a family of 4, and they were, prior to that house being built, the husband and wife were sleeping in a one bed. It was a studio apartment, and the 2 kids, which were like 10 and 14, their bedroom was in their parents' closet.
Oh my God.
And like the fact that we're able to go out and make an impact on those people's lives and really like
be a part of
just
that.
completely change the way that they live that's why we do this.
So you're making an impact for people.
Yes.
You're protecting people's homes. You're
Right.
changing entrepreneurs' lives,
Right.
and you're making millions while you do it. So,
Exactly.
How could these listeners get in touch with you? Maybe if they want to reach out to you, or maybe even work with the Smart Roof. How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so like you said, visit our website, smartroofinc.com. You can punch us in Google. You can call us, 833-343-ROOF. And if you're looking for a new opportunity, or if you just need a new roof, we're happy to help you.
Well, I tell you what, he's got a value that can't be beat, and I'm honored to have you in the Sky Diamonds Elite. You really raised the class completely from the very top, and I know that you're headed to 100 million and above, and I'm very excited to help you get there and do whatever I can to keep taking over this market. We are, disrupting the market with our approach. A lot of people, they see what's happening and they don't quite understand why a guy like you could come into Virginia and in just 5 years grow that big. I'm sure you get a lot of hate from other contractors in the neighborhood. Will you ever deal with any haters?
Oh, of course, man.
Tell me a story about dealing with haters.
I mean, on we all know on social media, especially when you do the things you're talking about, people are so afraid to put themselves out there, and as soon as you do, people start hating on it. But again, it goes back to like our core values and beliefs of like, as long as we know that we're making an impact on everyone that we touch, it doesn't matter what the haters say, man, because we're not doing it for them.
That's right. We're doing it for the impact over the income.
Right.
And I'm incredibly grateful to have you, bro. We're fixing to get into the green room here and shoot some ad videos. Really excited to see what's going to happen with Smart Roof and this year's growth. Last year went from $16 million to $30 million. And what I'm like blown away by is your efficiency, bro. How many sales guys you got? What's the average? How much is your average guy making?
So we got 32 sales guys between the DC market and the Philadelphia market. The average guy is making about 120,000 average, and that includes guys that have only been there for 6 months.
Well, you already said some of your top guys are making close to $400,000.
Yeah, and there's guys that are on pace to make more than that this year. Yeah.
Well, that's incredible. I mean,
Yep.
you're making millionaires, and you know, we'll have to be talking about multifamily investments and where to put some of that money here coming up soon. I just got invested into
Let's do
that
a deal together, man.
Yeah, that guy spoke at my conference. His name's Ben Inman. When I closed Grant Cardone on a multifamily roof, I was assigned an asset manager, and since then he started his own group. And so I put in a couple $100,000 in this deal and doing a roof with Ben. But you know, the deals in the Northeast, man, you can even get a bigger spread. There's lots of opportunities. So, guys, I want to say, you know, guys like Josh are hard to find. It's really hard to find an entrepreneur so disciplined, so dedicated, and so skilled to get the results. This doesn't come with just hard work. It comes with sharpening the sword, being open-minded, and duplicating successful actions. You came from an organization. You worked with them. They were successful. You took a little bit of what they did. Talk to me a little bit about your philosophy of, you know, coming up with your own strategy and then duplicating others' success and how you make that to...
Right. I think one of your big, like you're talking about Grant Cardone, one thing that I've heard him say before is, you know, people go into business and they do really well and then they go to change it, and just keep doing the things that work, keep repeating successful actions, right? And then you can find ways to tweak it along the way. So like my background in residential, I knew that was a successful action, right? And then with your help, the things I've learned about, you know, the storm side of things, that's a successful action. So why don't we create a hybrid of both, right? And combine those two instead of trying to reinvent, you know, the wheel. I think that's where
I'm telling you, man. So if we're going to go from 16 to 30 million, next year the pressure's on us to go from 30 to 60 million.
Exactly.
And so
right.
You're going to need more locations. You're going to need more people.
We're going to need a lot more people, a lot more high caliber people that are committed to changing their life. Not just like, I kind of want to do it, but there is no other option, right? If you're that person, we have a vehicle for you to get there.
Yeah, so if you're a top performer, if you're in the Northeast, if you want to talk with Josh, even if you just want some mentorship, some help, you know, he's happy to reach out to you. Just, you know, reach out to him, find him on the internet. He's on Facebook. You on Instagram?
Yeah.
What's your Instagram handle?
Josh Jergens.
Okay. All right, sweet. Jergens, that's the lotion. That's not too weird. All right, guys. For the next episode of the Blue Collar Boardroom, we're going to be talking to a group out of Columbus, Ohio. And I want to tell you, man, thanks a lot for coming here, and honored to have you as a guest and honored to have you in the Sky Diamonds Elite program. Thanks a lot,
thank
brother.
you, man. You've taught me a lot, and the ideas that you have moving forward, especially with social media and really opening up your marketing, is invaluable. If anybody's out there struggling with generating leads outside of door knocking, you need to come talk to Lee.